Hey. Back at it.
Back at it.
I thought you'd stalled for something to say then.
I glitched.
Oh shit! I forgot my
I
lines.
glitched. No, it was my
glitched.
it was my Fonz pose.
Was it
The Fonz? Yeah.
the Fonz?
Do you want to know something? I've never
yeah.
watched an episode of Happy Days.
Are you joking?
Not a single episode.
Never?
Not one.
Wow, Arthur Fonzarelli.
Yeah.
He's a dude.
Henry Winkler.
Henry Winkler, yeah.
I know that much. But
Henry's Winkler.
Henry's Winkler. And I know what he looks like, the Fonz, and I know he does that A thing.
Yeah.
That's literally the limit of my knowledge. Oh no, actually, I do know the expression. Have you ever heard the expression "jump in the shark"?
No.
It's like if you've taken
Jump in the whale.
if you've taken something well steady, if you've taken something too far,
Yeah.
and then like you have a sort of jump in the shark moment.
Right.
Like I don't know if you've
Well, you realise you've taken something
I was
too
going to
far,
say
you
you've
go,
milked
"Oh,
something
fuck."
too long, but that's probably again.
Have you ever milked a shark?
I can't say. I can't
Okay.
say that. But anyway,
Good start.
and there was a moment on Happy Days in one of the latest series where it got so ridiculous that I think the Fonz jumped over a shark, I believe,
On a motorbike?
on a
I've seen that episode, yeah.
yeah,
Or something like that. Yeah.
or on like a surfboard or something. And it was at that moment that it was like, all right, we've taken this as far as it can go.
It's just ridiculous.
Yeah. So
I mean, the program is ridiculous. The program is ridiculous. It's obviously set in the 50s, and it was filmed. I don't know when it was filmed, to be honest. 70s maybe. I don't know. Yeah, I used to watch it when I wasn't a constant. I can't make a fucking
when it was on,
I make
when
a
it was
joke
on
about when
BBC.
things were on telly. When it was on. It was like reruns. I watched it when I was a kid. It was on like Sunday morning on Channel 4 in like the 80s or the 90s or something. I loved it. It was weird. It was bizarre. But you've seen Buddy the video of Buddy Holly by Weezer.
Yeah.
That's set in the diner. That's on the set.
Oh right.
That's on the
okay.
set of Happy Days.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And I think Richie Cunningham. Well, Richie. You know who Matey Boy's in, isn't he? The writer, famous film writer, Richie Cunningham. What's he called? Ginger hair. Well, he's bald. He's bald now, isn't he? Oh, what's he called?
Ron
Howard.
Howard.
East
How the hell did I get that off?
Ron Howard. He's the main character in Happy Days.
Oh, was he? All right, I had no idea.
The Cunninghams, they're the family. Richie Cunningham and what they call the dad and the mum. And then there's Fonzie. Yeah, he's like an ad case. Yeah, well, it is what it is. It's
Never knew.
like a sitcom type.
Never knew that. Oh well.
You're missing out. You should watch an episode.
Yeah, you know what? There's that much, on my list. Happy Days is just going to have to join the end of the queue, I'm afraid.
Oh, what else is on your list? I'm intrigued. Let's be honest. There's fuck all on your list. You just don't want to watch Happy Days.
Well, no. I mean, The Witcher, that new series. I know you didn't get into
I'd
that,
rather watch fucking Happy Days.
I've got to be honest. Like, I'm not digging it.
I like Sandman.
Sandman's good. I watched that.
Have you watched it?
Yeah, I watched it. Yeah.
Oh wow, yeah. I'm about 6 or 7 episodes in. And I absolutely love it.
It's based on Neil Gaiman's stories, I think.
I have no idea. I've seen his name at the beginning.
Yeah, so he
I mentioned it, yeah.
He did like Stardust.
Oh, yeah, that's a great film. Yeah.
Oh,
right.
All the Neil Gaiman
Stuff. Yeah, of course.
He did all that. But I thought that was good.
It's a little bit kind of. It's very sort of a bit far out, but it's not mega far out. It's there's bits of it that are a bit.
I would say it was mega far out.
No, it is mega far out, but they're like it's all right. They're clearly these lords of these various realms. That's not hard to understand. But there's bits like I've just got to the episode where there is it desire and despair, and they live inside some sort of giant statue of a woman's head or something ridiculous.
Oh yeah,
what the fuck is? I mean, it's just that's a bit ridiculous.
I took yeah, it's not too far out. I took it as a bit of it's sort of casual.
Artistic
pulp watching, really.
I like it though. Yeah, anyway.
Yeah, it was good.
Good.
What were we going to talk about anyway? Other than
days.
obscure 70s sitcoms.
Well, today we're going to talk about, support bands, really. Support bands or special guests, as we like to call them. They've got into the habit of calling bands on our tours who I suppose, in a classic sense of the phrase, are supporting. We just don't want it to sound like a band supporting. It's more we like to call it a special guest, really, because it's we respect everybody's kind of not that being a support band is a derogatory term.
It's just a more kind of it's a more polite terminology, isn't it? Doesn't cost anything to just say that. So
Oh yeah, it's special guest. We've invited a band to come out on our tour, and they've said, yeah, we'd love to do that, and it's a special guest, isn't it, for us? Anyway, that's the way we see it, so that's what we call it.
yeah, I guess like we're going to talk about why. I mean, it might sound obvious, but there are a few reasons why you'd want a support band, and there may be several reasons why you would pick one over another. You know, and I don't know, but we've thought about this for a long time, but it's kind of unfortunately rarely down to like sometimes it is what we want, but it's not. That's not necessarily the driving factor. You know, you might naively think, well, you just go and you like a band and you go, yeah, come and support us, and then it's that simple.
Don't work.
No, it's not like that. You know, there's
Can't do.
you know, there is sadly like politics and whatever involved. And I'm gonna say like I don't mean it's like it's not heavy duty stuff, but you have to make considerations for certain things.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, so anyway, I support that would announce a tour for November in the UK. Get your tickets, and we are hitting sort of 10, 11 places, and we've just announced the New Roses as the support. So if you missed that,
Great band.
New Roses are supporting us.
Well, we've been aware of them for quite a long time. They've been around quite a while now, making big waves in Germany. The very classic rock band, and they are super slick, very, very good, great songs. Well, one of the reasons why they're doing so well in Germany, really.
I believe they come over and they've done a few festivals, a few like the Hard Rock Hell type festivals at the same weekend that we were doing them, but we never crossed paths. But always people were going like, you know, oh, you guys and the New Roses, you know, and there just seems to be quite a lot of overlap there. And then you check them out, and then it's like, oh yeah, I get it. The real classic rock with a kind of country sort of vibe to them, I think.
They remind me. I saw them. I saw them for the first time. I'd heard a lot of their stuff, but I saw them for the first time in Switzerland. We played with them in Switzerland last year, didn't we?
Yeah, well, we were looking forward to that, weren't we? We're like, we finally get to play with these guys
and meet them. They were really top guys. Really nice. Got my house on fire. But yeah, they remind me of Blackberry Smoke a little bit.
Definitely,
don't they? You know, that kind of like laid back rock. Very good, great songs. Amazing, and it's going to be great. Having them over here. I mean, they want to come over here. They've already got a name for themselves over here. It's a band that don't come over here very often. Maybe people have heard their music more than they've seen them. So that's a great reason for us to ask them to come over. Another great reason for us to ask them to come over is, because people don't get to see them very often. It's a great opportunity for everybody.
We had a bit of a discussion with them when we met them about this sort of thing. And so, the kind of the seeds of it were sort of planted then, having met the guys face to face, and they speak better English than we do, by the way. They were just like the nicest guys, and we were like, right, we're obviously going to get on like a house on fire with these guys. The music is ace. They're different enough that it's not like, too samey, because you don't want that. And but they're just amazing. They're amazing at what they do, and it's almost like for the people who don't know or aren't aware of them, it's going to be exciting every night to be like, watch these guys, and watching people go like, oh bloody hell, and also like people checking them out beforehand. If maybe they were on the fence about getting a ticket, they're an amazing band, and they are good enough to maybe, make the tour and grabbing a ticket more appealing. Which that is a big reason why you have a.
That's another big factor.
Special guest.
Absolutely, yeah. You want a band that. Well, we've certainly always been of the opinion that we don't want a band that are small time. Not small time, small.
Got to make it easy for us.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I'm trying to say. Who are just starting out is the phrase I was looking for. We've always wanted bands that people want to see. We want to make the whole night enjoyable. You want people to know, to get. We want to have the reputation of having a great tour with great supports, and everybody wants to come back next year and watch us again. Because you're guaranteed you're going to get value for money. With all the bands you're seeing.
And to be honest, it's spoiled for choice at the minute because there's so many good bands out there. There really are. It's not like you don't have to dig through them or out. They're jumping right at you in the face. And I guess the New Roses are just one that we've been in the back of our minds for a while.
Yeah.
And the kind of circumstances have aligned with their schedule and everything that, yes, it can happen. It can happen then.
Yeah, it's gonna be brilliant. So happy to get those guys on. And you want somebody different. We're always wanting to try and find the next band that nobody's gone out with before. You want somebody different that's going to pique people's interest and go, right. Because if a fair play, like there are some amazing bands in this country, but when you've been playing on the scene for a long time, you've played with most of them several times, and you try your best not to rehash the same shows, don't you? You want to try and spice it up, make it a bit different, and like get somebody over that's that makes it interesting.
Yeah, it's a bit exciting having a band that are from a different country as well. The fact that they are German is cool. I like the fact that giving them a good platform to show what they do.
And also there's another big part of why we choose who we choose is professionalism as well. Because when you're on the road, that makes such a massive difference. Like when you got bands that you're playing with that have done it before, that know the script, that know what you have to deal with, and you know what they have to deal with. That it just makes a big difference.
This is why we never get invited.
That's why we don't support anyone. It's hard work. Apparently.
No, it's true. It's true. But like when we say we make this decision, we're talking we as in
about 10 people.
Yeah, it's not just band members. In fact, we would probably say band members are kind of like
we get asked
last on the list of what you get.
There's a little bit of that.
No, it is in certain circumstances.
We get asked. If I'd say the way it works is we probably get asked first. To be honest, we get asked first because we're the guys that have played with the most. We've experienced all these bands in this country and around the Europe and whatever. So we get asked and we fire a big list of bands over, and then it's taken out of our hands and that's taken away, and then everything's discussed and we come back, and then Terry will come back or our agent or whoever will come back and say, yeah, what about these? We like these 2 or 3. What do you think?
Yeah, well, I mean, like you said before, we do try to keep it, a little bit interesting.
Yeah.
So a couple of years ago, Chris Catalyst and his band supported us. Very different to what we do, but it was it made for a great night.
It did.
Virgin Mary's recently.
Oh, they were amazing.
Again, they've got this kind of the 2-piece punk thrashy kind of thing going on. It's
very different,
totally different. But
amazing.
It's all within the the overlap in the Venn diagram of.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. I mean, the last 2 tours we've done with Chris Catalyst and Virgin Mary's have been my favourites for a long time. That have had in terms of lineups and. Going on stage every night, you just know that these guys are so professional, and they respect your fans as well. You're happy. You want a band that you've got to remember that they are playing for your fans, and you want to look after your fans. You know that when we went on the Skinnerd tour, that was very much a thing for them, that we are going to respect Skinnerd's fans, and we ain't gonna mess around, and we ain't gonna, because Skinnerd were fully aware. Because their tour manager was fucking terrifying. He was fully aware that we have their fans. We're looking after their fans for the main band, and that was their concern, that we didn't piss about and we did a good job. Because he had his fucking eagle eye on us, didn't he? You know what I mean?
He did. Day one, he sort of wandered over when we were
no pissing around,
parked in the Glasgow arena, and we're like unloading our transit van in the arena.
You knew who he was when he was walking across the fucking room.
You
didn't even need to know. I never met him before. It was like, oh, who's this? And all of a sudden, everybody that had met him before, who was our tour manager at the time, Jez, was like this.
It was like an officer, wasn't it?
It was like, oh, here he comes.
And everyone stood to attention. But he came over, and he didn't make... Don't get us wrong, he didn't make any threats or anything, and he wasn't menacing. But like you said, it was an unspoken kind of like...
I seem to remember he came over, and he just came over to Jez and went, come with me.
Oh, that was it. He did, didn't he?
And Jez was like, oh, here we go. And we were like...
Oh, didn't Rookie go as well?
Was it? Something like that. But then he took him in an office. He sat behind his big desk and he gave Rookie and Jez the rundown. And he was like... Yeah, and like I said, he was sound about it, but he was like, no pissing around. This is what we're doing. The buck stops with you.
Yeah.
I won't fucking take any shit. You know what? That is absolutely fair enough.
Yeah, it did, yeah.
So you know, at our level, we want to go out with guys that kind of know that. You know, I mean, we ain't going to give anyone any dressing downs or anything, but you know, professional bands that respect the crowd. You know,
when you're dealing with a band like Skinner, it's like, you know, it's next level stuff, and these guys have been around since the bloody like 70s. You know, they're like. It's a different way of doing it, you know. I'm surprised he didn't have a bloody like Desert Eagle or something on the on the desk, you know.
Talking just spinning the fucking
revolver,
yeah. Smith and Wesson,
loading his whatever,
terrifying.
But he's you know, and we've had that on other levels as well when we supported Thunder out in Germany and in Europe. Their top manager John.
Oh, he was there.
Day one. He gave us a similar sort of thing, really, you know, but in a much more kind of English
a very way. Much more kind of sandal-wearing Cockney. He didn't give a. He was ace, wasn't he?
A glass of red wine.
Yeah.
He always had a glass of red wine and some sandals on, whatever time of day.
He was, wasn't he? He was ace. I liked him a lot. But he let us. He gave us the benefit of the doubt, didn't he? I feel he was like. He just let us get on with our thing and respected. You know, you knew that you weren't going to fuck around. And
it was like it's not going to be a problem. It was only going to be a problem if
we made it a problem.
If you made him do anything, you made him put his red wine down.
Yeah, but he was a top guy.
He's like, if I'm doing my job right, I'll never need to.
Yeah, that's it.
Get out of these sandals.
Yeah, you know? I won't see you or hear you, and that's always well. When we go on the road, that is our priority, isn't it? Well, at first, anyway, you know, don't be seen
a support band.
Yeah, as a support band, yeah, don't be seen, don't be heard, in and out, get your job done.
Doesn't always work.
Doesn't always work. No.
Now, but yeah, so those are some considerations for when we have a support band, and it is absolutely lovely, like so lovely to be asked. You know, as soon as we now announce a tour or anything now in the UK, anyway, really, it's. You know, generally an influx of messages from guys and girls in bands, and it's lovely. It's lovely to get those messages, and just unfortunately, you've got to pick something. And honestly, by the time a tour's even announced, the discussions and whatever, it's already kind of been had, hasn't it? Really, you know, by the time you're announcing the tour, you kind of know who the support's going to be, or if all goes well. Who the support's going to be. So
who have you seen over the years then? If you've been to changing it around slightly, if you've been as a punter going to watch bands, what do you think about the support bands you've seen?
I saw The Answer supporting Thunder.
Oh, supporting Thunder?
Yeah.
What was that like? I bet that was a great
I
night.
was in high school, so I mean, I think I was about 14, 15. So it was about 2004.
You're still pretty tall then.
Yeah. And that I remember that. Well, that just because of the age I was, and I hadn't been to many gigs like that.
They were pretty young then, The Answer, weren't they?
Yeah, they were. That was when they were first come out. You know?
Right, wow, I didn't know you'd seen that, right.
And they opened with Under the Sky as well. I remember that.
Fucking hell.
And I remember being absolutely blown away, to be honest. But, I mean, as you get older and you experience more, back then, I'm pretty sure I'd have been blown over if anybody, you know, come on, and just the volume and just being like, oh,
the presence.
You know,
Cormac's unbelievable, isn't it?
Oh, you know, it's amazing. So I remember them being very, very, very good.
I mean, but then you've got, that brings interestingly on a little bit too, and then it's nothing against The Answer, but the Poison Chalice of supporting a massive band. You know, because they went out with DC, didn't they?
Yeah, well,
is that a bit of a poison chalice? Do you? Because you know yourself, you know, when we go on tour, how much it costs to go on the road, and you get a massive tour of maybe DC or Maiden or Kiss, and you put all your money into it, and those bands have such a hardcore fan base. Some of them, DC and Maiden, I think especially. Does anybody fucking care about the sport band, or you know, do they go away? Sometimes you look at, you know, you see some bands that go and support like these massive bands, and they're in a stadium and they play. You think, oh wow, they're on this tour, and they're playing at about 2:00 in the afternoon to about 40 people.
Well, you know, when you say about like Maiden and The Answer, and the Answer actually, because we met them a few times, and we were was it on that boat in Helsinki?
Yeah, Soldier.
And I remember them talking about that, and I remember guitarist.
Yeah.
the guitarist.
Dark, yeah. Paul Mahon.
Paul, and he kind of alluded to the fact that AC/DC tour, the Black Ice World tour they did, massive. On paper, it's like, well done,
Dreams
lads.
come true, innit? Yeah.
I think that put a lot of strain on everything to do with that band.
I can imagine it would do, yeah.
But yeah, I've noticed bands like AC/DC and Iron Maiden, they're going to sell these arenas out. They sell these arenas and stadiums out. They don't need with no support. So they tend to bring out a band that, like, a genuinely kind of on the up sort of support band, like The Answer. Who's out? Is it the Raven Age or whatever with Maiden?
All right, yeah. I've noticed that they do, don't they?
They're like low, relatively start. On the lower echelon of the career. And then you have the other arena kind of bands that are more like more recent, bands who've kind of elevated to that level, like Alter Bridge, Shinedown, Blackstone Cherry. They have to package their things accordingly to sell these venues out. So they don't do that. They can't do that and then go, let's have a low, whatever. They have to take out a Gojira. Or,
ticket pullers.
Yeah, a band that are gonna. They're not really a support band. It's almost like a little mini festival. You know what I mean?
Triple headliner.
Yeah, like
sometimes. Yeah.
And that's I don't know how I feel about that really, because it's sort of. I don't know. Well, for starters, I don't like arenas, but we're getting into a different discussion here.
Yeah.
But it's almost like bands now. There's not as many opportunities for bands to play for, like a band like Alter Bridge. I would love to see in like the Apollo, that kind of thing. The big theatres, the sort of 2,500-3,000 type theatres, and they could do easily a 14-date UK tour, sell it out, and take a band out.
Yeah.
Like us. All right, Mark. And they could take a band out, and it wouldn't have to necessarily be, a package deal with
4 dates.
Which, let's face it, it's becoming a really kind of small group of bands that are they reshuffle themselves around and do this tour with them, and then reshuffle it and do,
that tour with
them. It's
I get that.
So the role of the support band is kind of changing, and maybe like you said, there'll be a band opening up on a 4-band bill, but they'll be on at doors. The door, like anybody will be unlocking the doors, and then you'll be on the stage,
and you're off before everyone's managed to get to the barrier.
Yeah,
but over the years, we've seen. I mean, Maiden took out Maiden. I mean, Rookie. He's obviously a massive Maiden fan, and he said, they're a band notoriously hard to support because the fans are so hardcore. And oddly enough, Airborne are one of the few bands that have gone out with Maiden and have actually gone down really, really well.
They keep getting invited,
and they've been invited. They're going out again. They've gone out again with them, haven't they? And again and again.
Yeah,
which is amazing. I mean, we saw them with. I mean, I don't care who you are. I don't care what you think of Airborne or who you are in the world. I think you got your work cut out if you're going to have them as a support band. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, it's ultimate kind of confidence in you. Yeah,
they are. We've seen them blow a few headliners away, haven't we, over the years? And because they're just amazing. But yeah, I remember back in the day when we all started hanging around together. We went to watch Airborne. We were banging into all the support bands were really important. We saw some great support bands watching
Stone Gods,
watching Airborne and Black Spiders. The Sound and the Fury.
The Sound and the Fury.
Remember them? They were the openers for Stone Gods. Oh, it was Sound and Fury, Stone Gods, and Airborne, I think. And then I
don't remember them.
The next tour was Black Spiders and Taking
Dawn.
Taking Dawn. Yeah, they were great.
They were very short-lived, weren't they? They didn't last long.
Yeah, they were great though. They were great. Remember we seen them at Manchester and they had a nightmare with a guitar problem, didn't they?
Got the cables tangled up. They were like doing all that stage crossing, and then they ended up with a right bird's nest in the middle of the stage, and then techs all over trying to unplug stuff, and then his cable got so short that he couldn't move, and he was trying to do this like intricate, like it was proper Spinal Tap.
I felt right sorry for him.
Yeah, but they were good, American, weren't they?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, but Black Spiders were a big revelation, weren't they, at the time? Support band. They're going out with Airborne again, aren't they?
Yeah,
trying to relive that. But years ago, because a lot of people talk about that, don't they? Oh, Black Spiders and Airborne. It was great too with that.
Iced Earth support Volbeat.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah, that was the Rev and all. That was the Howling, wasn't it?
Yeah, the Howling.
They were on first.
They were
weren't
good. Iced Earth weren't. Not my thing.
A lot of denim.
When
Lot
the
of- lot of
eagle
oil.
cries.
That was it. That was
Yeah,
Yeah.
Iced Earth.
What's he do these days?
Well, you've heard about American prisons.
Man on the run. Hey.
I don't. Yeah, I can't. You know, I'm struggling to think now because, like I said, a lot of the bands I don't really get to go and watch.
I remember watching a great band with Support the Answer, actually. Gentlemen's Pistols. Do you remember them?
Yeah,
Academy 3 in Manchester. We went to watch The Answer one night in a band called Gentlemen's Pistols. They were really fucking good. Who else have I seen? Oh, we saw Duff McKagan's Loaded supporting Blackstone Cherry at the Barrowlands.
Mm-hmm.
And he was good. They were good.
Oh yeah. Well, I don't remember that.
Yeah.
I was
It was a long time ago.
and I was leaded.
And you were absolutely arseholed, yeah.
Yeah, I was. Yeah.
But no, it's been great. We've been lucky to support some great bands. Some of our sort of guys we really look up to. The Wild Arts was a big one for us. That Renaissance Men tour was probably my favourite tour so far. Support tour. I mean that was great. Us and the Towers of London. You know, I remember when they got announced, we were like, "Oh fucking hell, for you! This is gonna be hard work." Turns out they were ace. They were like reformed characters, weren't they?
Yeah.
They were really, really, really top guys. Wild Arts were absolutely on form every night. That was a really great tour.
It was fun. That was
good.
that was one of the most fun tours we've done. You know, like just didn't feel like there was any pressure. Every night was just a total blast, wasn't it?
It was brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Yeah. And, yeah, it was really good. Yeah.
But yeah, that like it does seem to be the like the support band special guests, whatever. It's kind of changing and it's sort of dependent on the situation that it is, you know. So in our instance, we you know, these sort of things, if we're being honest, you know, like, you know, a band like the New Roses from Germany have something to offer us as well, you know, maybe in the future. So we have to play the game. You have to think like that, you know.
I will also say that something to add about being a support band is, I mean, for years and years we were desperate. We were desperate to get on a support tour, weren't we? And the bands we were playing with at the time, some of them were getting on support tours, and we never actually supporting Ginger's solo tour with Connie Bloom, and that was our first ever real support tour that we did like through the week and stuff. You know, we took time off work to do that, and that was about 7 years when that happened, 7 or 8 years. You know, we've been going a long time, and we were pulling our hairs out, thinking we're never going to go anywhere. But you just have to wait, and it comes at the right time. And don't be in a rush as a small band to get on big supports, because once you've been around a long time, you know what you're doing. You just make more of it, don't you?
Yeah.
You make the most of it. You know?
Yeah, well, you just get better as a band, and then you're able to capitalise on those opportunities when they do come.
Yeah, definitely. Don't despair if nothing's coming through your door. You know, just keep what you're doing and doing what you're doing, and you know it will come eventually. Definitely.
Yeah, and another big thing that's not mentioned, I'll mention quickly, is budget. You know, you got to pay the bands that you're taking out with you.
Oh yeah,
and it's all very well and good going, we'll have them, but then if they say, well, we're going to cost this much, and you go,
we're not having you.
Well, we can't have it. You know, we can't afford that.
That is a good point.
It's not all run on cozy feelings,
hopes and dreams.
Yeah, hopes and dreams and well wishes. You know, you do have to do the cop accounting at some point. So
you absolutely do.
But yeah, the New Roses anyway. Check them out because they are absolutely fantastic.
Killer. And I've no doubt. Hopefully, over the next year or so, they'll be over here more often. You know, because I know for a fact they're going to go down really well on this tour. So you know.
Maybe too well.
Maybe we might fuck them off after a couple of nights because they're too good. Having these lads on, yeah, too bloody.
No,
good.
but that is it's true though. I mean, we do. It's great knowing like right, we've got to be bloody good.
Yeah, there is that.
We have got to be good.
It's good to have a kick up the arse, isn't it, before you go on stage?
Make you raise your game, you know.
It does.
Yeah, can't wait. It's going to be great.
Yeah.
Tickets are available.
Get them.
Come see us in November in the UK.
Get them while it's hard.
It's going to be grand.
To quote Snoop Dogg.